Coming up, we are going to find out in our own opinions here at the table what are the best attractions in certain categories, including thrill rides, continuously loading rides, and live-action stage shows at Walt Disney World, tournament style. Right after this. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 704 for the week of May 6th, 2014. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Well, welcome everybody to the Diz Unplugged. I am here. I'm Dustin West, first of all. I am your host, and I'm here joined by Sean Thompson, Kathy Whirling, Corey Martin, and back in the production nook, we have Mr. Craig Williams. Yes, well, welcome to the show, everyone. Again, I am your host, Dustin West. Pete has asked me to host this segment. In fact, I'm going to be hosting some more of the segments from now on.
My bad.
That's okay. I'm going to be hosting some more of the segments from now on, just especially like some of these that are a little more... fan-driven, just kind of open discussion type segments. I love doing this stuff. These are the ones that come to my mind, and they tend to be really fun. So I'll be hosting some of these from now on.
All right.
What we're doing in this segment is, like I said earlier in the introduction, is we're gonna choose some of our best attractions at the table, tournament style, and of course, I've gained inspiration from Tony Spatel, who obviously does his March Madness all through March on the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged.
May Madness here in Orlando.
May Madness. And of course, there's a million other podcasts that do bracket-style stuff as well.
Like Disneyland.
Yeah, like the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged. I love doing this because it lets us just talk about the attractions, and I know that people that are watching and listening who are about to travel want to hear about some of these attractions that they're
what are the best.
What are the best?
Exactly.
And we are going to decide, and we're also going to set up a series of polls this week over the over the next couple days. And we're actually going to get your opinion if you go to facebook.com/DizUnplugged. You'll see a series of polls released throughout the next couple days, and we will narrow down what the Facebook audience thinks are the best attractions in these brackets. So we'll be able to compare.
To see if we were wrong.
Yeah, to see
exactly.
if we were wrong compared to what they think. But the first thing that we're going to talk about is the best continuously loading rides at Walt Disney World. I've created a bracket here, so if you're watching, you can see it. If you're listening, I'll have our final result bracket available in the show notes. It is some interesting choices. It's the Haunted Mansion versus the Seas with Nemo and Friends. Journey of the Little Mermaid versus Peter Pan's Flight. Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin versus Spaceship Earth. Now this one's a little off. Swiss Family Treehouse.
It's only continuous moving if you're walking fast enough.
Versus Tomorrowland Transit Authority, the People Mover. I added that in because I needed an eighth.
Okay.
And I figured that was the closest thing I could get.
Maybe this is just a general question about how brackets work, but how do you choose the ones that go up against each other?
You can do it several different ways. You can seed them, so you can choose like, okay, we think that this one will be the most popular, and then put that against the least popular, and that gives it the advantage going into the next round.
Yes, it's kind of rigged.
It can be, but at the end of the day, it's going to whittle down to the best.
Okay.
The best thing. The way I did it here was putting attractions that have some sort of similar experience that we can draw comparisons to.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So the first one is the Haunted Mansion versus the Seas with Nemo and Friends. So what do you guys think? I'll start with Sean. What do you think if you were to compare those two?
Yeah. Well, I will say this is a no-brainer for me.
Okay.
I love Nemo, the Seas with Nemo and Friends. I think it's a nice it's a nice hot day ride where you just want to get out of the sun. I think it's a fairly long ride. You get to sit in there for a while. Mm-hmm. It's basically just the movie comes to life. I think actually it's supposed to be after the movie. It's supposed to be kind of like a sequel.
Oh, is it really?
Well, they're kind of playing games afterwards and stuff. I think it's not an exact replica, but I don't know. It's the same story.
It's a cute ride.
It is cute. Yeah. I think kids really like it. And I like the effects in it.
Yeah.
I think that there are some cool things like when you get to see Nemo coming in and out of, I guess, the submarine and kind of stuff. So the graphics are pretty cool. But hands down, Haunted Mansion is way better.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
You know, it's we're putting The Seas with Nemo and Friends, which was revamped only a handful of years ago, versus the Haunted Mansion, which is untouchable. The Haunted Mansion, to me, is just one of those that if you're in the Magic Kingdom, you've just got to hop on and do it, because the lines are never that crazy. And, of course, it's a classic. I love the Haunted Mansion. I think I'm going to be nodding myself toward the Haunted Mansion.
We've got the two rides there. 10 years, 20 years from now, do you see Nemo and Friends being there? I think a Haunted Mansion is like a classic that will be there forever.
Right. Haunted Mansion is untouchable. Is the current version of Nemo and Friends at the Seas untouchable? No, I don't think so, in my own opinion.
Well, I think that's even arguable, though, because right now, we watched it happen to Pirates, where it went from, Pirates is never going to get changed, and then all of a sudden, Johnny Depp starts showing up.
I'm talking about major changes, though. I'm talking about changing the name of the attraction and gutting it out and doing it all over again, basically like they did with Nemo.
I actually am still upset that they haven't added Eddie Murphy into the Haunted Mansion.
That's coming.
The Haunted Mansion needed another dip down. Exactly. So, Kathy, I guess you're going to probably say Haunted Mansion, right?
Yeah, I like both of them, but if it was like a choice between the two, it'd be Haunted Mansion.
Okay. What about you, Corey? What are your thoughts on the two different?
No, it's Haunted Mansion for sure. Like I said, I enjoy the Seas with Nemo and Friends. My kids love it, but it's Haunted Mansion. You can't really compare the two.
Yeah.
There's another two in this bracket that's going to be pretty hard to decide.
Okay.
But this was an easy one.
Yeah. I think we're all decided, right?
Yep.
Haunted Mansion wins the first round versus the Seas with Nemo and Friends. Our next one up is Journey of the Little Mermaid at New Fantasyland versus Peter Pan's Flight. This one's a little tougher, I think.
For me it's tough.
Oh, Sean's shaking his head as this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, no-brainer, Peter Pan. I like I said about Nemo, I think that the new Little Mermaid dark ride is great. I think it's a really nice ride. I think they did a great job on it. But it's that classic feeling of Peter Pan that you can't compete with.
My dad, whenever we would go on our vacations earlier when I was a child, this was his number one attraction. This was before they had hour-long waits constantly, even at 9 o'clock in the morning. We would always go on Peter Pan's Flight. It's a huge part of my childhood. My favorite part is when you take off and you see London, the small little London town. Now, if you flip the light switch on in that attraction, it would just be a little model of the city of London, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But somehow, with the lighting and the black lights, they really capture that feeling. And for me, Journey of the Little Mermaid is really good. It doesn't have that classic feel that Peter Pan's Flight does. Even though it is really technically well done, it doesn't give me that same feeling that I have flying over London. What about you, Kathy? What do you think?
I'd say the same thing. Going into Peter Pan's Flight, and I wanted to go see the movie then. So I watched the movie, and it's like, okay, that's a classic. Now, I saw The Little Mermaid a couple weeks ago, and it's like, oh, okay, now I understand the ride. But again, I don't see it as having staying power 20 years from now, that, they'll think of some other nautical type of attraction to put in there. I don't see it being there in the long term.
With The Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, when I was waiting over at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train the other day, I was there for quite a few hours. Me and Matt Dobrovolsky, who's a listener, were talking at great lengths about Journey of the Little Mermaid, because we were there for 6 hours and there wasn't much else to do but talk about some of the attractions. And he brought up a good point in that, this is a carbon copy of the one they have over at Disneyland. And the best thing about it really is the new queue that they've created at New Fantasyland, which I think is one of the best queues we've seen in a long
Yes.
time. But again, the ride is a carbon copy.
Yeah, but it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it's a perfect ride, everything they did with it. My only complaint about the ride is in the under the sea section. Whenever you get to the aerial that's like kind of bobbing up and down, her eyes always seem to lock into place, so she'll have like one eyelid that's kind of like half.
She's winking.
And it's a accidental wink, but it just makes it look really
accidental.
creepy.
My least favorite Ariel on that is the video version where she's transforming into
Yeah.
having legs, and it's like this weird animated, but it doesn't look like the animated version from the movie. It's like the weird cartoon animated version, and like her body's too elongated, and she just has like this weird swirl around her midsection.
Yeah, but I mean, if the argument is Little Mermaid going to stay for any period of time, it's always for the next future. It's going to be in our Magic Kingdom. However, I don't know if it'll survive at California
Yeah,
Adventure.
right.
They can find something new for that
Yeah,
space,
for sure.
but not with our queue. Not
Yeah,
with that.
I think the one like the one in California, I don't know, because the one here, and I'm gonna go with the Little Mermaid. Look, I love Peter
wow.
Pan. I love Peter Pan. It's a classic ride. I also think the Little Mermaid has elements of that classic Disney ride.
It does.
You know, you're in that ride vehicle, the animatronics, and you take that and the addition to the queue, the addition to the building, the facade. It's beautiful. Our kids love it. They love both of them.
But
Peter Pan has that hanging ride vehicle, though. You are floating, you are flying, and that's an incredible part of that ride, and it is a classic. But I'm going with the Little Mermaid.
I like the Little Mermaid too. I actually picked that just because it actually tells the story. Where Peter Pan, it's just like here's a couple scenes, and well, this is kind of how
That's
it begins,
true.
and this is how it ends. But it doesn't actually tell that story. Where Little Mermaid does that all the way through, and you got Scuttle hosting it. Man, it's good stuff.
Now,
It
see,
is.
I think it could be a better story. I don't know that they told the story like it's like they plopped these, the moving fish, and it's like they didn't use their total imagine. I don't want to say
I
it's
just,
Heartwarming. It's heartwarming. It's just not believable. I think is what you're saying.
Oh, no,
Okay, okay.
I disagree.
So we have Corey and Craig are saying Journey of the Little Mermaid. Kathy, you say
Peter Pan.
Peter
Sean?
Pan.
It's Peter Pan for
Oh.
me too. So Peter Pan takes it. I'm sorry,
I think
guys.
we should arm wrestle over it.
Our next matchup: Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin in Tomorrowland versus Spaceship Earth at Epcot. Craig, your first initial thoughts.
Well, I mean, we kind of had this discussion already with Treehouse and Continuous. I mean, every time I get on Spaceship Earth, I'm stuck at some point in time, so I don't know how that's really continuous, but Spaceship Earth. Buzz Lightyear's, it's old, it's overrated. They should have never got rid of Delta Dream Flight and Take Flight and all those other ones that I don't even remember because I was too young and years of abuse
Oh,
to my body.
I
has
remember
just
that
ruined
one
my
room
brain.
that you went through, and it was like an Asian airliner. You went through
Oh, yeah.
you saw like the
I think it was
the stewardess
Eastern
room.
Airlines.
Yeah, it was really cool. I agree with you. I think Spaceship Earth is going to take it for me. It's been there longer. It's one of my favorites. The only ding that Spaceship Earth gets is the new ending. I wish they would
Yeah, I agree with
do
you.
something with that. But I think because Buzz Lightyear needs a refurb and a rehab, I think that that puts it below Spaceship Earth for me.
Mine's easy. It's Spaceship Earth. I mean, go listen 2 weeks ago when I talked about Buzz Lightyear was one of the most overrated attractions, in my opinion, so I'm definitely going to choose Spaceship Earth.
That doesn't mean that Buzz Lightyear isn't fun. I was just on that this weekend, and I racked up some points, and that is a really fun ride. There's no doubt about it. I don't, however, think it's worth some of the standby lines that I've seen having to wait. Get a fast pass for it. It's definitely one of those that is worth getting a fast pass if you like that interactive kind of ride.
I wish it was more
Well-
like Disneyland.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and maybe I ride with the wrong people on Buzz Lightyear.
You need
But-
new friends.
Yes, because I always get the person next to me that knows, well, if I hit here, I'll get 10,000 points, and if I do this, and that ride just takes too much effort for me to try to, like, I go in and I'm hitting targets, which I think is
Yeah.
fun, and then you look to the person next to you and they've got 300,000 points, and it's like,
I always beat Ferris.
Yeah. I always lose to whoever I'm next to, except for sometimes I win. And that's how the cookie crumbles. So we're all decided. Spaceship Earth,
Spaceship
right?
Earth, yeah.
All right. We can do that. Oh, I just typed in Spaceship Earth.
Oh, that's a new one.
That's fancy.
Maybe that's a new ending of Spice Girls comic.
Wow. They're going to spice up your life.
Spice World
and the
overlay.
future. Okay, so here's the controversial one. We're not really sure if we want to consider it one of them, but we have Swiss Family Treehouse versus the People Mover. Let's just all say it right now. People Mover, right?
It's tough though. I don't think it's that easy.
Really?
I love. Wait, what are we talking about? Swiss Family Robinson
And the People Mover in Tomorrowland.
No, I love Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse.
I do too.
I really do.
I love the organ playing.
Look, there's
the
Julie.
music.
The photo.
The Swiss polka.
I was wondering that one.
Yeah, that's Julie. Yeah.
I missed her.
Oh no, it's
There she is.
for
There
the
she
People
is.
Mover. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me.
People Mover for Corey.
I would ultimately
People
go People
Mover.
Mover too. I would agree.
I'm
but
surprised it's such a
harder.
toss-up for you, though.
I don't know. It's those classic attractions.
They are both.
I'd hate to see the treehouse go away. Mm-hmm. Not that everybody goes there, but it's another like testimony to Disney's creativity.
The problem with Adventureland at Walt Disney World is that it is so closed off now, so narrow now, since they put in Aladdin's magic carpets, that I fear that the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse would become a casualty of that they would want to open it up, and instead of getting rid of Aladdin's flying carpets,
Right.
they would get rid of the Swiss Family Treehouse, which is not handicap accessible, which is usually there's no one in it.
I think they should change the entire treehouse to escalators. I think that would.
That's interesting.
That would make a
Yeah.
huge difference.
What do you think, Craig?
I'm all about Swiss Family Treehouse, actually. I do love People Mover like anyone else, but something about the Treehouse just hits me more. And like I can always remember going on the People Mover as a young lad, and we loved it, but it seemed like a different ride back then, especially now since Space Mountain has changed the interior and you can't see down in their queue anymore. And just some of those little aspects of it that aren't there anymore. It used to be a really great ride, and to me now it's just okay. We're Swiss Family Treehouse. I love going up through there. It's a nice little workout, as if walking around a theme park isn't already enough of a workout. But you can walk up a tree, you can hear organ music, you can pretend that you want to live in there.
And I love that movie anyway, so I have such a connection to that movie.
Yeah.
So it's nice to, I don't know, kind of live through that and go through that attraction.
Cool. So, Sean, your pick?
I will go with People Mover.
Corey?
People Mover.
Kathy?
People Mover.
Craig?
Treehouse.
I'm People Mover, so it is the People Mover. I'm sorry, Craig. But I got more interesting conversation out of Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse than I thought I would. So that's good. You can see our bracket here. We have our second round is Haunted Mansion versus Peter Pan. It's getting a little harder, guys. Spaceship Earth versus People Mover. So, Haunted Mansion versus Peter Pan. For me personally, I love Peter Pan. It's Haunted Mansion for me. That is that classic ride. And those are both reminding me of my childhood, but Haunted Mansion, I've got to go with that. It gets the nod for me. What do you think, Sean?
I will go with Haunted Mansion for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Corey?
It's Haunted Mansion. I should almost be voting on behalf of my kids. It would be Peter Pan, but if this is my vote, it's Haunted Mansion.
Well, that's what matters right now. How about you, Kathy?
Haunted Mansion.
I think we have a winner. What about you, Craig?
Haunted Mansion, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So Haunted Mansion takes it over Peter Pan's Flight. See, this is when it gets good because, sorry, there were hand motions there. This is when it gets good because now we're getting to the more popular rides. We have Spaceship Earth versus People Mover, another hard one.
Ooh.
This one I feel like is 50-50 for me. I'm going to need you guys to help persuade me, I think. So, Kathy, what are your initial thoughts? People Mover versus Spaceship Earth.
If we're going to come down to that, I'd say Spaceship Earth.
Okay. And why?
You just said it. Craig just said it. Somebody just said it about, that the People Mover doesn't have what it used to have. And Spaceship Earth, they took a lot of stuff away, but there's still a lot of stuff there that's interesting. So if it was a choice between the two, it'd be Spaceship Earth.
Okay. How about you, Corey?
Spaceship Earth. It's it's the icon of Epcot, and
Right.
I think there are more childhood memories from Spaceship Earth for me than there are from the People Mover. And plus, I love the Renaissance.
How about you, Craig?
The Spaceship Earth. I mean, it's got everything. It doesn't have a good ending anymore, but all those classic scenes in the beginning, and who can not sit here and if you think of Rome and the smell of Rome falling, you could just get that instant sulfur scent in your nose. I mean, the only thing I think about smelling on the TTA is the smell from the Tomorrowland Speedway as you pass by, and that dirty rubber smell.
Or the family that was sitting there before.
Exactly. That happens a lot.
How about you, Sean?
I would agree with everybody, Spaceship Earth, but it's tough. It is.
That is
It is. It is a 50-50, but I will also go with Spaceship Earth. So, but People Mover, I'd like to give some love to the People Mover if I could, but I think Craig is absolutely right. There are too many changes versus Spaceship Earth, which has, other than the ending, not changed much over the years. So we'll take a look at our bracket here. And we have our finals. We have Haunted Mansion versus Spaceship Earth.
Ooh.
This is where it gets tough. I just want to check real quick, Craig. Corey's mic is working okay?
Yeah, it's back on. We lost it for a second there. That's
Okay.
why he had to fiddle around
Gotcha.
with it.
No problem. All right, Corey, Haunted Mansion, Spaceship Earth, go.
Ooh. I'm going to go with Haunted Mansion.
Okay. Why do you think that edges out Spaceship Earth?
I mean, they're both classics, but I mean, it's just a great attraction. I mean, it's a classic attraction, but I think it's more enjoyable. I enjoy it more.
Okay. How about you, Kathy?
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. Just to me, Haunted Mansion seems like finished. Like a couple years ago, whenever they added to Haunted Mansion, what they added in, I thought made it better. When they did Spaceship Earth, it's like they took stuff out, and it's like they still need to finish Spaceship Earth.
Very true. I'm going to go with Haunted Mansion as well.
Good.
I think that, like you said, it's a more complete ride. It is at its most complete now than it has ever been. How about you, Sean?
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
There we go. How about you, Craig?
Mansion. Why not? Let's just go for the
Alright.
majority win.
All right, so that does it for us on the best continuously loading rides at Walt Disney World. And we have it right here. Haunted Mansion is our winner. It beat out a whole bunch of stuff. We are going to move on to the best thrill rides. No, I'm sorry. We're going to do the best live action shows.
Cool.
Yes. So
No boat rides in this round?
No boat
boat rides?
rides
Okay.
or water rides,
All right.
unfortunately. I thought about doing that, but I couldn't make it work in the bracket. So, best live action stage show. Couple caveats. Fantasmic is not included in this. We're also not including like the Castle Forecourt show. We're not including, the High School Musical or, Disney Rocks, that kind of stuff. But what we have right now is Disney Junior live on stage versus the American Idol experience, Festival of the Lion King versus Beauty and the Beast, the little Voyage of the Little Mermaid at Hollywood Studios versus Finding Nemo the Musical, and Lights, Motors, Action versus Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. So, Disney Junior live on stage versus American Idol. Oddly enough, I've got to go with Disney Junior live on stage. I don't have kids. I did used to work there, and I have a soft spot for it. American Idol is cool, and it's really cool if you enjoy the television show and you want to participate in that kind of experience. But I think... I'm getting a phone call. I think that Disney Junior live on stage has really cool puppets, really cool artistry in there, and it's just it's a fun little atmosphere. It's not as wide an appeal as American Idol, but I enjoy it more. How about you, Sean?
I would have to say American Idol. I've never seen Disney Junior. So.
Okay.
But can we choose neither?
Just leave a blank spot right there.
Yes, that one doesn't even count.
But mine would be Disney Junior. I'm done with American Idol. I've seen that show once in Hollywood Studios, and I'm good. But my kids love Disney Junior live on stage, so I'm going with them on this. Disney Junior.
Okay, how about you, Kathy?
Disney Junior.
Oh, wow.
It's Disney. I mean, this is a Disney attraction.
In American Idol here at Hollywood Studios, if they had like a different, like if they didn't have to resemble the TV show with the judges,
Yeah.
I might give them a little higher marks. But to see Disney cast members that you see doing other things that now are the judges up there, that they have to act like Simon or whatever,
Right.
It's like, have your own original thoughts. Don't try to be the bad guy or the funny guy or...
Yeah, you could have a perfect singer up there and they're going to find something that's wrong with it.
Right.
Yeah. How about you, Craig?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Sean. I wish both would just burn to the ground.
That doesn't help your grumpy cat reputation.
No, I would prefer American Idol though, because at least there you can you're in an environment where you can laugh at the people that you're already laughing at walking around the park. But now you have a reason. You can say, "Oh, it's not because of your outfit or
What a
that. It's
cruel
because you're
man.
singing." I'm just terrible today.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, it's it.
Okay, well, we're decided. Anyway, even after your pessimism, we have Disney Junior Live on Stage winning out versus American Idol. Next up, this one is a little more of a toss-up, I think, maybe. We'll see what you guys think. Festival of the Lion King at the Animal Kingdom versus Beauty and the Beast at Hollywood Studios.
Do you want me to go?
Yes.
I love both, but I would have to go with Festival of the Lion King.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you like there over Beauty and the Beast?
I just think it's a more unique show. So I like Beauty and the Beast, but it seems kind of just pulled right from the movie, which is good. But I don't know. It's nice to go into Festival of the Lion King, which is its own show. There's obviously the same music and same kind of, I don't know, storyline kind of.
I'll
But
be interested to see what they do with the new version of it.
Yeah.
They're going to have the new stage. I know some elements of it are going to change. And that's why I included it on this bracket, even though it's not currently showing. It's coming right back very soon.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to have to go with Beauty and the Beast, even though I love Festival of the Lion King. I love that Festival of the Lion King is an interpretation on the movie. Like what you said, Beauty and the Beast is a little more straight out of the movie. Same song, same characters, represented exactly how you'd expect. The reason I like Beauty and the Beast is simply because of the pre-show. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a special pre-show that happens at Beauty and the Beast.
I can't think of it. I've seen it 5 times. I
Yeah.
can't think
Really?
of it. Yeah.
Oh, I really don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Is it... There used to be a pre-show that was singers? Is that the
Yes.
one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, certain people sing in a pre-show, and that is just one of the best things on stage at Disney, in my opinion. So I got to give it to Beauty and the Beast. How about you, Craig?
I will go with Festival of the Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. The costumes are getting aged and just kind of look creepy, like my opinion on a lot of things here. But no, it's just a bland show. Half the time, Belle can't sing really good. Whereas Festival of the Lion King, they pick like the cream of the crop to go up there to perform, and they're all amazing. The tumble monkeys. I mean, you can't help but get a smile on your face every time they're bouncing around. It's just, in my opinion, it's the best show on Disney property.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
I'm already saying it now. It's probably not going to win, but
You don't think it'll win?
It's what I think.
That's what you
Yeah.
think. All right, Corey, your thoughts. Beauty and the Beast, Lion King.
I like Beauty and the Beast, the movie, better, but I'm going with Lion King. I think there's just so much energy, and with the acrobats and the singing, and there's always something going on from different directions. It doesn't feel like a stage show.
It also
it's
helps
a performance.
It also helps that it's a theater in the round, so the action's happening all around you.
Yeah.
How about you, Kathy?
I'd have to give it to Festival of the Lion King, but I'd be really sad if Beauty and the Beast went away. But
Yeah.
comparing the two, Beauty and the Beast to me seems like the low-budget Disney production as compared to Lion King.
That's exactly what it is. And it's so dated, too. It's so early 90s.
I guess
Sorry.
I'm all alone on this one, but I love both. Our next matchup is Voyage of the Little Mermaid at Hollywood Studios versus Finding Nemo the Musical at Animal Kingdom. Craig, start us off. What do you think?
Finding Nemo. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, you seem pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Kathy.
I don't know. They're both pretty good, but
In my
Sean's
opinion,
nodding his head.
in my opinion, Finding Nemo the musical is more of a full-on stage production, whereas Voyage of the Little Mermaid is kind of like a highlights reel of
Yeah.
the Little Mermaid, and the effects are cool in Voyage of the Little Mermaid with the cool lasers and mist and the animation, but Finding Nemo the musical feels, in my opinion, the closest to a quote-unquote Broadway-style
Yeah.
production
Yeah.
at Disney World out of any of these in the bunch. So I've got to go with Nemo. I don't know what you think, Kate.
he used to be in the show. I keep getting the names mixed. The Nemo show in Animal Kingdom. There was a performer in there, Billy Flanagan, that's been with Disney forever, and he's the one. He comes out on a bicycle, I think, at the beginning of the.
Mr. Ray?
Maybe that's. But he was very good in that, and I really enjoyed it. But like my grandson liked Voyage better. He liked the effects there. So I'd hate to see them both go away.
Right.
They're both good. It's just sort of like a different audience.
Well, which one edges out for you personally?
The one at Animal Kingdom.
Finding Nemo the musical.
Yeah.
How about you, Corey?
It'll be Nemo. Our kids love The Little Mermaid, but I'd rather they enjoy that show. Ariel, but I'd much rather them go meet Ariel
Yeah.
at the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And then just to have her, stand up there. And it's also hit or miss. If there's a good
If Ariel can sing good
if she
that
can
day.
sing, she can sing good that day.
Yeah.
It depends, but with the
She's having an off day.
a lot of singing going on. But I would go with Nemo.
It is decided. Finding Nemo wins out over Voyage of the Little Mermaid. The last one we have are two stunt shows. We have Lights, Motors, Action, and we have Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, both at Hollywood Studios. Kathy, what do you think?
Gosh, those are two that need to be replaced. But Indiana Jones, I would vote for before Lights, Motors, Action, because as much as I like cars, it's sort of like once you've seen the stunt show, seen it, done it.
I enjoy Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular more. I'll agree with you. And it's because, not because the show is necessarily so spectacular and
Right.
great. I agree with you. It needs to be updated. But it has some of those things that I've come to love and expect in it. Some of those kind of quirky little things that they do within the show that I'm constantly quoting or referencing. So I can do that more than I can with Lights, Motors, Action, which is cool. There's a giant fireball and there's motorcycles.
Right.
That's neat. But I like Indiana Jones better. Craig.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, Lights, Motor, Action is the worst present that we ever received from Disneyland Paris during the 50th anniversary. Whenever we got Soarin' as well too. I mean, whenever you compare apples to apples, there, we lost on Lights, Motor, Action. But Indiana Jones, I mean, it's a classic. It's immortalized in Full House. In The House Meets the Mouse. You can't beat that. Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, she thought Indiana Jones was Steve. DJ Tanner.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. I would go with Indiana Jones 2, mainly because of Full House, but also mainly because of SNL. I Am Rahat. It's one of the best sketches, probably one of the best.
I don't know
season.
that one, but
it's a Disney sketch. It was when Drake was hosting, but they do this whole thing about Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. So.
oh, okay. Oh, I think I did see that.
She brought her own rice up on stage. So, yeah, I think.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Okay, so it looks like Indiana Jones.
I haven't went.
Oh, I'm sorry, Corey. I'm
But
going
it's
all
Indy.
out of order.
They can both go, but Indy over the two.
Indiana Jones over Lights, Motors, Action. Well, then it looks like Indiana Jones has won. Our next matchups: Disney Junior Live on stage versus Festival of the Lion King. Finding Nemo versus Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. I've got a feeling like I know where these two are going.
Really, like puppets.
Let's just go around the room and let's say it. Disney Junior versus Festival of the Lion King. Sean.
Lion King.
Craig.
Lion King.
Kathy.
Lion King.
Corey.
Same.
We are decided. And I think that's pretty clear. It has nothing nothing against Disney Junior live on stage, but I think
We hate puppets.
Festival of the Lion King suits us a little bit more. I think if you had young kids, what do you see from that perspective? Do you think they would like Lion King more than they would like Disney Junior live on stage?
They relate more at their, I mean, 5 and 4, so they relate more to Disney Junior. I mean, they're seeing Sophia the First, Jake and Neverland Pirates, and so they relate more to that. But Lion King's more of a, an overall attraction.
Okay. Well, our next one is going to be Finding Nemo, the musical, versus Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. They're kind of in two different categories there, but again, let's go down the line.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Yep.
Craig, what do you think?
Nemo.
Wow. Kathy, what do you think?
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, really, versus Finding Nemo. I've already decided the winner.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go with Finding Nemo. Corey, what do you
Nemo.
think? So it's looks like we have our finals on live action stage shows at Walt Disney World. We have Festival of the Lion King at Animal Kingdom versus Finding Nemo, the musical, over at Animal Kingdom. Both Animal Kingdom things.
I know, I
and
found
we
that
have
out, yeah.
Disney's Hollywood Studios there representing all these other attractions, yet we come back to the Animal Kingdom. This is crazy. All right, guys. Festival of the Lion King versus Finding Nemo. What do you think? Kathy.
Festival of the Lion King.
Okay. Why does that edge out over Finding Nemo?
Just think it's grander. I think that's worthy of being a Broadway production. Also,
Yeah.
and I'm sure once it gets to the new location, it's going to knock everybody's socks off.
I think they're going to do a great job with it, and I agree with you. I'm going to go with Festival of the Lion King. What do you think, Corey?
The same thing. It's just, there's tons of action happening, both singing and acrobatics, and it's just a lot of stuff going on, which is awesome.
All right.
Lion King.
Lion King for Corey. What do you think, Sean?
I'm going to disagree. For me, it's Finding Nemo the musical. I love both of them a lot. I think both are really great shows. But for me, Finding Nemo is it's just so polished, and it's so similar to an actual Broadway show.
It is.
And just the fact that Bobby Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez wrote the music for it, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, they just did Frozen. They've done Book of Mormon. So
They did that. They did the same music.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because there was no music in the film at all. So everything for this stage show was
from the
original.
ground up, they took the story
Yeah.
and wrote the whole thing. And it's such high quality music too. So it's for me.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Craig.
I agree on all points with Finding Nemo. It's the music's amazing in it. Everything is polished about it. But I just see Festival of the Lion King as something that I expect to see in a theme park. Like Finding Nemo, it's almost a little too good. I wish they would actually further thicken or further, stretch it out a little longer and actually put it on Broadway. I would prefer that.
Yeah.
Whereas Festival of the Lion King, it's the perfect length. It's entertaining. Lion King.
You got it. So there we have it. We have our winner, in our own opinion, at the table, and we've battled it out. We have the best live-action stage shows at Walt Disney World with the Lion King, Festival of the Lion King on top. Our next category and our last category, and man, I feel like I am talking faster than a machine gun right now. I'm getting through these, man.
Which coffee did you drink?
I drank no coffee whatsoever. We have our thrill rides at Walt Disney World. And in this bracket, we have Space Mountain versus Big Thunder Mountain in the top there. We have Tower of Terror versus Mission Space. We have Rock and Roller Coaster versus Expedition Everest. And we have Dinosaur versus Test Track, most of which Sean does not ride. Right?
I've ridden every single one of those.
Too bad
Have you?
Summit Plummet's not on there. That's a thrill ride. A thrill slide.
Oh, right. You don't like the ones that have the 3D visuals and stuff like that.
There's pretty much nothing at Disney that I don't ride except for Star Tours.
You do Mission Space?
I've done it before, both sides. It's not something I enjoy, so I don't seek it out. But I've been on it a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, our first matchup is going to be Space Mountain versus Big Thunder Mountain. This one for me, they're very similar as far as how fast they go and the thrill level. But for me, I prefer Space Mountain. I like walking into that dark queue and playing the games and hearing the music. I liked it better when they had the TVs in the queue and you could watch the loop of videos that they had when it was sponsored by FedEx. And, they've changed Space Mountain a lot, but I still love it, especially over Big Thunder Mountain, I think. Kathy, what do you think?
Well, thrill rides are not my thing at Disney.
Okay.
And Teresa and I did Space Mountain, and I will never, ever, ever do that again. Scared the living daylights out of me. Everybody said if you can do Thunder Mountain, you can do Space Mountain. No. So I'd have to give it to Thunder Mountain.
Okay, sure. Corey.
I'm going with Big Thunder Mountain. It was Ferris's first ride. I loved it before that, and his first roller coaster. I would choose. I like Space Mountain, but I like the one in Disneyland better than this one. It's smoother. It's the rockin' Space Mountain. So I'm going with Big Thunder.
All right, so we have 2 for Big Thunder Mountain, 1 for Space. Sean.
Big Thunder.
Big
I love the
Thunder.
theming. I think it's a great ride. I think everyone can enjoy it. I think, Kathy, you might have a hard time with it, but I think you...
Well, Thunder Mountain I can do all day long.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, Big Thunder for sure. I think it's a great ride.
Good. How about you, Craig?
I'm a Space Mountain guy. I mean, Walt Disney was obsessed with space, so I don't know if he was obsessed with the wilderness. I'm guessing he is since he put it in Frontierland.
Well, he was obsessed with trains, which
yeah.
is Big Thunder Mountain.
but not that intensive trains.
Oh, he was.
Oh, he was? He was in
Carolwood Pacific. That thing used to zip around his backyard.
Don't you know anything about Walt Disney?
Don't you know nothing?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I finally like something and everyone looks at it. No, Space Mountain, though, it's a cool place. It doesn't shut down because of weather.
That's true.
I like the air conditioned queue in
Yeah,
Space Mountain.
that is nice.
Because the BO coming out of the queue in Big Thunder is terrible.
It is a little rough in there,
Yeah.
but if you get a fast pass, you're all right. So Big Thunder takes it over Space Mountain, much to my chagrin. Next up is Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios versus Mission Space over at Epcot. I've got a soft spot for Mission Space. I worked there. I love it. I rode it all the time. I love Gary Sinise as Capcom. It's Mission Space for me, even though Tower of Terror is just fantastic. I got it with Mission Space.
I'm going Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
For sure. I enjoy Mission Space, but there's not a lot of people that like to ride it with me.
That's true. You do have to go
I end
home a
up,
lot.
I go by myself, but everybody can enjoy Tower of Terror.
Seems like Tower of Terror is one of those ones for people who don't usually do thrill rides. They can at least do Tower of Terror. It's a different sensation than roller coasters. People that are afraid of roller coasters sometimes tend to say, "Oh, I can do Tower of Terror." And you could, like my parents do that. They don't ride roller coasters, but they do Tower of Terror. So I get to ride a thrill ride with them, which is nice. Kathy, what do you think?
Mission Space. I've done Tower of Terror once on a dare, and that was back when you only had the one drop.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me. In Mission Space, I've done both sides, and
Which one do you prefer?
either side.
You can handle both of them?
Yeah, but that's another one of those. It's like sort of like I've done it, I've experienced it. Do I really need to go back and do it again?
Mm-hmm.
So
of the two, which would you?
Mission Space.
Mission Space. Plus, you like all the NASA stuff.
Yeah.
And there's real NASA stuff in that queue, so that's always interesting to check out. How about you, Sean?
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror?
Yeah.
We are tied. Craig, you are the tiebreaker, my friend. Brrrm, drum roll.
That's simple. Tower of Terror.
There it is.
Yeah, the theming, the 1930s music as you're walking up the queue. It
Makes you want to explore that whole hotel, doesn't
hidden
it?
Mickeys.
Oh, it does, yeah.
no, it's a great ride. I mean, yeah, it technically just goes up and down in a random sequence, but I mean, it's also like a flashback to the 50s and the Twilight Zone, obviously, since it's kind of based off of that. Just a little bit, but no, you can't go wrong with it. Mission Space is great, but it's like a carnival ride on steroids, kind of.
Yeah. All right. Well, that does it for that one. Tower of Terror takes on Mission Space. Next up is Rockin' Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios versus Expedition Everest at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Two of the most intense roller coasters at Disney World. One is a little bit different than the other, but I think we can compare them. For me, I've got to go with Expedition Everest simply based on all the theming that goes around it. It may not do loops and have that intense launch that Rock and Roller Coaster has, but the whole story behind Expedition Everest, the whole area, the whole theming, that takes the cake for me. What do you think, Craig?
Everest. Yeah. That's it.
You don't like Steven Tyler and Aerosmith?
No, I actually love Steven Tyler. I just prefer Everest. It's a better ride.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you think it's a better ride?
Oh yeah,
Better roller
it's
coaster?
a much better ride.
Wow. Okay, Corey, I'll move on to you.
I'm going with Rock and Roller Coaster. I love them both, but I think as far as thrill rides go, I mean, you go upside down, you're in the dark, you have the music playing. I'm going with Rock and Roller Coaster.
And my favorite challenge on Rock and Roller Coaster is right when you launch at the beginning and they take your photo, you've got to try to do a straight face. You got to not smile or scream or anything, just deadpan. It's almost impossible, but I seem to do it every now and then. What do you think, Kathy? If you had to choose.
Well, you're never going to see me on either one of these rides, but I would go with Everest just for the theming.
Okay.
Based on pictures.
Yes, based on pictures. And standing there watching everybody screaming.
What about you, Sean?
Absolutely Everest. I think the theming's great. I agree with Craig that it's a much better ride. Okay. I love Rock and Roller Coaster too. It's just I think it's a much more immersive experience. I think a lot of that has to do with Joe Rohde and kind of
the theming is far better than Rock and Roller Coaster. I definitely give it that. I just enjoy going upside down.
Sure.
Is there a chicken exit at Expedition Everest?
Sure, absolutely. Because you're not even in a building, everything's kind of outdoors.
Okay.
At any point in the line, you come across a cast member, you can just say, "I gotta go." And
Well, but see then that's like when Teresa and I did Tower of Terror that we walked up because I'd never seen the queue. Well, I've done it once, like I said, a long time ago, but wanted to go back and see the queue. But when the cast member said, "Oh yeah, now go over here," where they're like, "Now, really? Is that where we're supposed to go? Or does he have a sadistic streak?" And finally, we must have asked about 10 people on the way up, and they went, the one that has the seat belts is the real one.
Yeah, they put you in an elevator, I think, in the chicken exit, don't they? Like you have
Yes.
Yes, which is a little...
So I don't know that if they said, "Oh, here's where you can bail out on Everest," that I'd believe them either.
No, well, Everest, you literally walk away.
Oh,
they just say,
okay.
"Go walk over there." You don't have to ride.
Okay, good.
So it's a little simpler than getting on an elevator. So it looks like Expedition Everest is going to take that over Rock and Roller Coaster. Sorry, Corey. The last one is a weird matchup, but it's Dinosaur versus Test Track. Dinosaur being kind of like a Jeep dark ride at Animal Kingdom where you go back in time and see the dinosaurs. Test Track being a car that goes 60 miles an hour around the loop.
Dinosaur back. I'm going to go with Test Track.
You're going to Test
Oh God.
Honestly, wow. Honestly, after the changes to Test Track, I've got to go with Dinosaur on this one. Simply because Test Track doesn't have the same story and theming that it used to. I've always loved Dinosaur. I love Felicia Rashad. I love that guy from CSI. I love that Felicia Rashad is sassy in the video, and mostly I love Felicia Rashad. So it's Dinosaur all the way for me. How about you, Sean?
I don't know. This is actually pretty close for me. I love both, and I think... I don't know. I'm just going to say Dinosaur. I think. Mainly because of association, because of Indiana Jones. I love the ride vehicle. I love the track.
I wish we had Indiana Jones from out in California.
Oh, we
Here.
do.
Yeah.
Well,
It's literally Countdown to Extinction, or Dinosaur. It's literally the exact same
I
layout.
know, but California is much better.
Right.
than here.
The whole open room concept at
Yeah.
Indiana Jones is 10 times better than Dinosaur. There's no question about it. So, Kathy, what do you choose?
What are my choices again?
Dinosaur and Test Track.
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Wow. Craig.
Yeah, count me in for Dinosaur. I love
Two in a
Test Track.
row. I'm in the minority.
You are all by yourself.
You're so hipster.
I gotta tell you,
I like living on the edge.
I knew going into this that I was probably going to choose Dinosaur, but I had no idea that would be kind of where we all went with that.
Well, they changed my attraction because I was at the old Test Track and my name was in there in several places, and then they had to go and retheme it, and now I'm lost and no longer a part of Disney history. Except I didn't write my name on Disney property because that would be vandalism and applicable to firing and all that good stuff.
Well, we're getting close to the end, guys. We're almost done. We're on our second round: Big Thunder Mountain versus Tower of Terror, and Expedition Everest versus Dinosaur in those brackets. So, Sean, what do you think? Big Thunder Mountain versus Tower of Terror.
Big Thunder.
Big Thunder Mountain.
Yep.
Okay. How about you, Kathy?
Big Thunder.
Versus Tower of Terror. Yeah. How about you, Corey?
Big Thunder.
Wow. Okay, I've got to go with Tower of Terror on that one. Even though I didn't pick Tower of Terror versus Mission Space, I've got to go with Tower of Terror over Big Thunder. How about you, Craig?
I would be a Tower of Terror, but it doesn't matter. So.
Oh wow! Jeez, he's just so down on himself.
Well, no,
today.
it's 3 verses too. It doesn't
Craig,
even
we
matter.
care. We really do.
Kathy, you know what? You wore the same shirt that I wanted to wear. I'm not letting that go.
He's still
Never
still
again.
obsessed with that. All right, in our next matchup, we've chosen Big Thunder Mountain over Tower of Terror. We have Expedition Everest versus Dinosaur. I've got to go with Everest on this one, even though I love Dinosaur. Expedition Everest takes it for me.
Everest. Yep. Agree.
Everest for Sean. How about you, Corey?
Oh, definitely Everest.
Okay, Kathy.
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. And Craig.
Everest.
Everest takes it. We are down to our final best thrill ride at Walt Disney World. Let's start thinking. We have 2 mine trains, Big Thunder Mountain versus Expedition Everest. For me, I love Big Thunder Mountain. Again, it's going to be Expedition Everest for me. What do you think, Corey?
I think as far as thrill rides go, if we're basing this on thrill alone, Everest takes the cake as far as thrill goes.
I agree with you on that.
If it was enjoyable, I enjoy thrill, but I think
I think the only thing on this list that is more intense than Expedition Everest, in my opinion, is Rock and Roller Coaster, and that edged out over Rock and Roller Coaster for me. So
if we're basing this on thrill, it's Expedition.
Yeah. Kathy.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Expedition Everest.
Okay, and Mr. Williams,
Everest. Yeah.
Mr. Craig Happyface Williams says Everest as well. So it looks like.
Do I get to go?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sean.
Of the 2, my favorite ride is Big Thunder, but if
Really?
we're doing thrill ride, it's definitely Everest. Yep.
Okay. So we have our best thrill ride at Walt Disney World, and we all came to the decision it is Expedition Everest, and that is our bracket.
Or Summit Plummet.
Summit Plummet. Corey still wants those water slides in there. So that is our show. That is our segment. We hashed out the best live action shows, the best continuously loading rides, and the best thrill rides, in our opinion, at Walt Disney World. Again, make sure you subscribe or like us on our Facebook page. Thank you for the word there, which is facebook.com/DizUnplugged. We're going to be releasing a series of polls throughout the next couple days, and you guys are going to be able to participate in this bracket. We'll find out what the fan favorites are. So we'll have our brackets versus everybody on Facebook and see if we kind of match up.
No name calling.
Yeah, no name calling, no bets, no money involved. But anyway, that is going to do it for this segment of the Diz Unplugged. We hope you enjoyed it, and we certainly hope that you'll join us next week for another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Until then, have a good week, everybody. Thank you.